Citizen Weekend. Tonight we discuss the massive rise in hate speech on social media prior to and during elections. To get an idea how serious an issue this is, we're bringing this closer home to you, and we had asked you at the beginning of the bulletin whether you've encountered or witnessed hate on social media. Majority of you say yes, as you can see there, 64%, and 36% of you are saying no. Now, while social media is a blessing in many ways, it also has a dark side. Majority of social media users feel that people say things when discussing politics on social media that they would never say in person. Specifically, about half of social media users believe that political discussions on social media are angrier, less respectful, and less civil than discussions elsewhere. My guest in studio tonight, I'm joined by Philip Ogola, who is a digital humanitarian. I'm also joined by Martin Muri, who is the founder, Soma Awards, and Brian Mbunde, also joining us tonight. He's a digital strategist. The hashtag is Citizen Weekend. A lot of you are writing in saying you've come across inflammatory messages or messages that evoke emotion. And let's take a look at some examples of what we've seen on social media platforms in recent days. So here we go. Here's somebody saying, and we had to edit out or blur the names of some of the candidates, you know, just to avoid an awkward situation. Here's somebody saying, Dash is the most irritating animal in Kingdom Animalia, always complaining, saying we shouldn't have evolved, that Stone Age was better. That's in reference to a candidate. This person is the only reason why we will lose. He has put Kenya on its knees, and nobody, unless the lunatics, will vote for that particular person. As you're seeing, we've edited out the names of these persons. Again, you know, we're seeing a lot of hate in these messages, particularly in reference to the campaign period and to political candidates. And let's proceed. Let's take a look at another one. We have something on Instagram as well. And this is a civil one. Somebody here is saying, I want to send my message to Kenyans. Kenya is one nation, and all who will live in it are Kenyans. Tribalism and political hatred will only divide us and ruin. No one has his or her ID written, her tribe, and that is a message there that is a little bit more sober than those that we saw previously. I want to start with you, Philip. Kenyans are increasingly concerned, especially with the rising political temperature, and we saw President Uhuru Kenyatta there talking about social media specifically today and saying that people should be very careful what they post out there. The CCK says that they will not shut down the internet, as has been witnessed in other jurisdictions. We saw that happen previously in Uganda, in Ethiopia as well. But do you think that we are at a safe place as we approach the August polls?
I think it's quite disturbing, the level of hate speech spewed online, and I think it's heavily anchored on fake news. I think if you look at the patterns on right now, bulk of the hate speech is actually pushed by one or both sides, and the saddest bit is bulk of them are actually false. So you'll find Kenyans actually hurling abuses to each other, character assassinations to one community or another. But if you look at the substance of the content, it's actually fake. So we're actually killing each other online based on facts which are not even valid. So my worry right now is actually digital propaganda. Yeah. Which is quite, right now, it's in dizzying heights.
Martin, digital propaganda and the fact that we see a lot of fake news there. There's been news circulating, particularly now where we've seen deaths of high-profile individuals. We see messages being sent, even on WhatsApp, about possible deaths of certain high-profile individuals. And then when we also look at social media, the question is, has the CCK done enough in terms of setting sufficient guidelines to ensure that this is a safe space, especially going towards this critical electioneering period?
Let me applaud CAK for assuring us that they're not shut down the internet. I think there are different government agencies that are doing a lot. CAK has tried to push the guidelines, but we need to create awareness we need to let Kenyans know that social media is a very powerful tool, and it is not just about the law, it is about us taking responsibility and understanding that we are playing around with a powerful tool that can reach not just Kenyans. Any tweet that goes out there, any Facebook update that goes out there will not just affect your friends, but the friends of your friends are reached by that message. Anybody who shares your updates is able to influence other people. So I think we need to move a little bit deeper and agree that we have guidelines, but who knows the guidelines? We need to educate the public, and we need to ask people to own the content that they share. And
by educating the public, essentially that would mean that there needs to be some sort of punishment that is effected towards even that innocent person on social media who just posts something out there that probably they did innocently, but that could have serious repercussions.
Exactly, because whatever happens online, we usually say your online lifestyle reflects your offline lifestyle, and the laws that govern us are the same laws that are applied. But having said that, I think what the president said today is very important, that from the top we need to let everyone know that it is bad and it is wrong to bully people online and to share hate message.
And then Martin says your online lifestyle reflects your offline lifestyle. But how true is that? Because people find a lot of comfort behind their phones, whereby you see people very comfortable posting nasty things on social media that they would not come out there and say perhaps to some of these presidential candidates or gubernatorial candidates. Why are people that vile on social media? You're a digital strategist. What's behind this thinking?
I think guys are behind the keyboard. They feel that they're untouchable. They feel that if I send out a tweet and even hide my location and just say that so and so I hate them because of this and this, they feel that they can't be reached. But at a time whereby when you just send out a tweet and automatically you leave your IP address there, it's easy for you to be gotten anywhere you are in the world. Yes, so I think
very interesting point you've raised there about IP addresses and the fact that bloggers have been put to task by, for instance, the NCIC, which has been criticized as being extremely toothless. They say that these people are anonymous, that it is extremely difficult to know who these people are. Is that factual?
It depends. It honestly depends. We are at a time whereby when you're walking in town, easily someone can spot you if you're, let's say, a social media celebrity. So I don't believe that it's very hard for you to be found. As long as you've sent out a tweet easily, it's usually leave your trace online so you can be gotten.
Talking about the NCIC, Philip, they've launched very few formal investigations under a law criminalizing hate speech. What's your assessment of these bodies that are essentially supposed to be there to curb the hate speech that we're seeing on social media?
I think NCIC is actually dogged by lack of a legal framework. I think currently in Kenya we don't have laws to actually help prosecute perpetrators. And I think it's high time we also have punitive measures to people who actually perpetrate hate speech. And just talking about the anonymity, social media gives a false sense of anonymity. People think they can't be traced. There's no privacy. You can actually be traced right to where you actually live. So I think people should be careful of the kind of digital footprint they actually put out there.
This issue of anonymity, Martin, I really think that this is an issue that we really need to talk about, because some of the most abusive and corrosive messages, the tribal messages that are seen out there, are written by bloggers who, once again, some of these institutions and bodies like the NCIC has frequently cited as being difficult to track down because of anonymity. How genuine do you think a fact this is? Well,
as Ogola said, you can be traced, and there are a few examples out there that people have actually been traced. People who've shared hate message have been traced, and I think we've covered some ground. We are able to trace people who share hate messages, but the problem is the framework of even making sure that these people are punished. But I think CAK is doing a lot, and CSIC is doing they're doing a lot to actually make sure that there is precedence.
Yeah.
But it's a step, one step at a time. We've been seeing now people who share fake news coming back and saying, I did this. This was wrong. In the morning, we had someone who killed one of the most respected journalists, and they came back and apologized. So we're seeing a lot of people who used to share hate speech, hate messages, now taking responsibility and saying, look, I know I cannot hide anymore.
Yeah.
And I know I can be trusted, so I have to apologize and put the facts straight.
And your assessment, Brian, when, for instance, we know some of the most notorious bloggers were taken on by campaign teams and even the ruling government, we're not going to name them, to be part of their digital team. So is this, I mean, is this a solution really, where people are given high-profile jobs in digital teams just to sort of silence them?
Okay, to be honest, we call them the 36 bloggers.
Why?
That's just a term that guys on social media created for them, and easily guys have actually been able to notice and call out that the content that they are sharing and spewing out there is paid content. So chance of guys actually believing that this is actually happening on ground, especially in the time of social media where you can just go on ground and take a picture and just confirm and verify that this is actually not happening. It's very easy. So it kind of helps that the government is trying to use certain bloggers, but deep down as Kenyans, we know what's actually happening down there.
Deep down as Kenyans, you know, because
Yes.
I mean, you're digital gurus. But
Yes.
enlighten our viewers, seriously, particularly that demographic that's very active on social media, how to actually siphon between fake news and authentic news.
Okay, I can give an example of a story yesterday where someone said that the former president had died, and easily it was being shared on WhatsApp. Everywhere you go, even on Twitter, guys are sharing, but easily when you just go on Google and just Google search it, you'll just realize it was just one blog that was sharing that content. So Kenyans just need to have a way of verifying their messages before now sharing them with their friends and stuff like that.
Interesting conversation. WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Just moving away from Twitter and Instagram, when you look at WhatsApp and how quick it is to send a message to, say, 100 people, the group chats that are created every other minute, what happens when the press and broadcasters play their role? We, as the Fourth Estate, will play our role come the August polls. And then the problem now shifts to online media and social media, which has boomed and which can be viral at the spur of a minute, and that also conflicts with our news because we're also trying to send a message out there. We're trying to relay authentic and credible information.
First, Kenya is actually a WhatsApp country. WhatsApp is quite big. I think we have over 10 million members. And I just want to tell Kenyans that WhatsApp is the biggest conduit for fake news. And right now we should be very, very afraid because there are tools which can actually manipulate fake WhatsApp posts. So don't believe what you see. You can actually manipulate a Facebook post and even put a timestamp. You can backdate a date, put a fake, can even have a post which has your name. So I think Kenya, we have this habit of sent as received, which is quite, it's quite wrong. People believe I get WhatsApp from my village to meet verify stuff. So I think before we share anything, I think we need to stop that habit of sent as received. That's the biggest. Before something trends on social media, it actually goes viral on
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp is part of dark social. And currently Kenyans have moved away from tweeting. They have actually gone dark. People actually are quite active on WhatsApp. They can actually go very vibrant, but they won't tweet. So I really, really encourage guys that don't trust WhatsApp. Don't trust what you see. Just try and verify offline. Social media, for you to verify, you have to go offline.
Okay. Right. And Martin, so the elections will be held on the 8th of August. We're looking at WhatsApp, and we know the internet will not be shut down on that particular day. WhatsApp will be circulating. We know that the IEBC says that results will be relayed at constituency level by the returning officers there. This WhatsApp phenomenon and the scenario that's likely to play out come the August polls, how to control that?
No, I think if you look at social media, it's accessible to anyone, and anyone can generate content, authentic, or false information and just share, because we all have access to social media and especially WhatsApp. I think we need to verify every information that we get.
Verify, and by verify, where do you verify? Say my grandma in the village, she's about 70 now, she's on WhatsApp, I WhatsApp her regularly. She may not be as techno-savvy as I am, and I'm not even anywhere close to where you guys are. So verify from who and verify how?
If it is about elections, we are talking about results. Who really announces results? So there is an opportunity for us to verify if the results have been announced by, let's say, the returning officer. Because what we'd expect now going forward is that even people release fake results. People will release from different counties. You will get fake tallies of results. So I think it's important to ask ourselves, who has announced these results? Are they specifically from the, let me just say, the returning officer? If those are results that are not coming from the returning officer, then I think we should not share. But because politicians will want to spread propaganda, you know, some politicians will want to preempt, I think most of the Kenyans need to be aware and take precaution that there will be fake results being released, and we need to wait and verify the results from the right people being bestowed with the authority of announcing results. Yes.
I think just to add on that, there was a case in Migori where there was a bit of violence during the campaigns, and photos which were shared were quite graphic photos of somebody who has been cut, you know, with deep cuts on the head, and those photos actually caused a bit of panic and fear. But the photos were fake. They're actually from Ghana. They're not even from, they are from, I think, 2006. So how many Kenyans actually go to verify these photos? And people need to know that any photo has a digital metadata. It can be traced to the date it was actually taken. So we find people using fake photos from Somalia, from where to actually propagate fake news. So I think we really need to be, and also this other issue of hashtags. People trash hashtags in Kenya. Hashtags are fake. They're actually manipulated. Politicians actually have a bunch of guys who can actually push a certain agenda. So people, when you see that it's trending, they actually feel, oh, my tribe is being... So I think we should not trust hashtags.
10 years after the 2007 elections, Brian, activity on social media demonstrates that we've not learnt anything whatsoever. One would imagine that the guys at Mashinani level are the ones that are, you know, very, very quick to send lewd messages that are laced with tribal jargon. But then we see a lot of this on social media as well, with this very young demographic. Your assessment of that?
You see, with social media, guys usually feel that they have the power. They feel that they can share any conversation and just make stuff trend. We're at a time where guys just want to, okay, guys are paid to make stuff trend. So guys just want certain teams to lead and stuff like that. So I think that since the past elections, guys haven't learned about avoiding violence and stuff like that. They know that they can share any message out there and get guys against another team and stuff like that. I think we need to have teams that assist guys in terms of just teaching them that and even reminding them that when you share hate messages and speech like that, you never know where, okay, who's watching you. Because you see, with social media, it's a huge platform. A platform like Twitter has over easily 4 million people in Kenya, and you never know who's reading your message.
Is it only in Kenya where social media is this? I mean, like you're saying, this is a huge platform. You know, a lot of news is relayed by the minute from international media. We know what's happening across the world on Twitter, for instance. But is it only in Kenya where social media has taken on this whole new dynamic where it's as spiteful and as hateful as it is?
Globally, I would say even elections like the US elections, there were things changed because of social media. Guys were being told that so and so is doing this and this, and guys out there believed it, but it was all fake news. Globally, easily when guys are sharing messages and stuff like that, guys still don't verify their information. So when they're just reading stuff, automatically they change their opinion about the opposition and stuff like that. So I think guys just need to learn how to verify content out there. Yeah.
And Martin, I want to forward this question to you. Should the government introduce a law where before you register for a social media account, your details are recorded with the government? Will that help? That's
still debatable. We know you are required to share part of your information with actually the networks that you sign up an account with, whether Facebook or Twitter. There's some information that you're supposed to share. I think this is social media, and we need to introduce other ways of making sure that people are more responsible online. I don't think that is the only way to make sure that it works. It is one of the things that the government can do, but there's a lot that we need to do as a country. There is a lot of education that we need to do as a country, because that is the law. What we want to do is to make sure that before people even get caught up by the law, self-regulate, use social media responsibly, because people even don't understand how powerful the platform is. We need to create a conversation that helps people understand how powerful these platforms are, apart from just creating laws. I mean, there are so many laws today, but still people break the law. So our agenda and what we try to do every day is to create conversations and try to educate people and make them understand that social media can actually be beneficial to them. People don't need to share hate message. People don't to lie on social media. People can actually build their businesses on social media. People can build their personal profiles on social media and actually monetize, start making money out of it. People can also grow careers off social media.
Which gives me the impression that the people who spew this hate are extremely idle.
Exactly, and they don't even understand sometimes that how harmful the content they share is. So if we are able to reach out to most of the, especially the young people who are idle, some are jobless, if we're able to create a conversation and help them understand that you can actually start a small business, market your product and services online, get your friends buying them, and you create a small business out of it. You can also start a career through social media. Like Brian works, you know, full-time, gets paid because of social media.
Good money.
And good money, let me just say. And even some people, some personalities who have a lot of influence, because of the influence they've been able to amass over a period of time, we call them trendsetters or the influencers, are able to make an extra coin out of their influence. So people need to know that social media is a powerful tool, but we need to use it positively to our own good and the good of the society.
Philip, this suggestion by Ezekiel Mutua that people should register their names with the government so that you don't have people hiding behind fake accounts and fake handles to send inflammatory messages out there. Do you think that could be a solution?
I don't think it would be a solution. I think I'll push for self-regulation. Yeah, because I think when you clamp down and give guys rules, they'll always find ways to bypass that. I think what we are lacking as a country is moral opinion shapers. We need to get guys who can actually tell this youth, hey, what you are doing is wrong. Because there's a block of youth who don't have mentors. They think that bullying someone online makes you to be a celebrity. And as a country, we are known as bullies globally, which is quite wrong. We bully Uganda, we bully this, so people think it's...
Yeah, Nigeria, actually there's a report from Nigeria that labeled Kenya as the worst in East Africa when it comes to cyberbullying.
See, we take pride in that, and because I've traveled far and wide, it's not a good thing when you travel and you're told, oh, you're a Kenyan, you're those bullies. So, for them, they think it's prestige. But I think someone needs to tell this youth, we are living in a country that is very sharp, very innovative, but you're cyber foolish. When it comes to online cyber foolish, we're actually foolish. We post so much stuff that when you're looking for jobs, and even parents need to be very afraid. The kind of youth right now, getting jobs will be very hard, because the kind of stuff they spew online will remain on the digital footprint.
Brian, you're a digital strategist. Again, somebody here is saying there's a thin line between hate speech and freedom of speech. Where do you draw the line before we start getting accused of dragging individual opinion as provided for in the Constitution? So I think what this viewer is saying is that when the politicians put themselves out there on a platform, you know, where they're subject to ridicule and criticism because of some of the things they say, then that person on Twitter is forced to react. So that thin line between hate speech and freedom of speech.
To be honest, you're free to tweet what you want to tweet, but the problem is whatever you tweet and how someone reacts is different. You can't you can't teach people how to react. So many people out there are very sensitive. You can say, let's say you love a certain show or a certain artist, and automatically guys online will jump on you and bash you and stuff like that. So I would say in terms of hate speech, yes, there's a very thin line, but guys need to try and avoid and to share what they really feel, and they should think about the outcome.
Okay, and we're closing. So in summary, somebody here is saying these guys know their stuff, but they're not being direct to the point. My opinion is they and the appropriate government bodies should deploy denial of service attacks and filters to specific words to all social media platforms until the elections are over, and then educate Kenyans later. Your assessment of the CAK, for instance, who say that the internet will be allowed to run, you know, as it usually does. There will be no interruption whatsoever of any of these social media platforms. And if somebody here is feeling that there should be filters to specific words on all social media platforms, at least on this particular day, to avoid situations where, you know, there's confusion and there's a lot of questions about, for instance, you know, the announcement of the results, fake news, like you said.
I don't agree with that. I think people will always find other ways and manipulate their way towards sharing content. And now that we have social media, which is a powerful tool, I think filters might not work. I think people being cautious that there can be fake news and consciously saying that we will fact check, verify all the information comes. And something else that people need to know is that when you notice fake news and you like or you share, you endorse that. So we need to know that the information will circulate, and there are people who actually sit somewhere being paid to create fake news. So we need to make sure that any information that is out there, even after we read, when you click like, when you click share, you become part of that conversation. So we need to make sure that we don't advance fake news by contributing, either commenting or sharing on it.
Right. And as we begin to close, I want to take that poll again as we read out your tweets and get parting remarks from our panelists in studio this evening. We had asked you this evening whether you have come across or experienced hate on social media, and this is where the poll stands as of now. 64% of you say yes, you've encountered hate on social media, and 36% of you say no. So this is a huge problem. Let's take a look at what you're saying on Twitter. Okay, and as we wait on that, okay, here we go. This is the response we're getting from you guys as regards hate on social media. I've been a victim of a tribal hate over politics. Worse still is that the abusers are young people. This is Kibet. Agumba, you're saying social media is not a good platform. Indeed, the types of posts online can easily trigger conflict. Neil, you're saying social media is a very powerful tool, almost more powerful than the mainstream media. Those using it to spread hate should be charged. Christopher, you're saying Kenya is ours and we have no other country to go to. Let's preserve it by spreading peace, not hate speech. Tony, you're saying, yeah, I've been abused because of my tribe and left frustrated, discriminated, and angry. It should stop. So we're wrapping it up now, gentlemen. Philip, you're, I mean, a young gentleman, very, very qualified and well-versed in this field. Please speak to this demographic on Twitter, which is a very young demographic. As we approach the polls, how best they should use this platform as we approach the polls. It's about 20 days to go. In your assessment, you feel that indeed this is a platform that's been abused. What do you think is the way forward, and what do you want to say to this Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat demographic?
I think what I really advise our young generation, or even the older folks, is to use social media to have issue-based discussions, just to avoid this chatter. I think social media gives us it's a powerful tool to actually verify what politicians are actually saying. Instead of jumping into a conversation, why don't you just verify and have issue-based discussions? I'm here to see a day when we'll discuss disaster response in this country. I'm going to see a day where we'll discuss about employment, about issues which actually benefiting the youth. So I think we need to stand up. We have the power. Social media gives us the power to actually put politicians in check and even talk about issues which can actually benefit us. So I think it's time we stop being hateful and have an issue-based discussion which can actually be beneficial to us.
And Philip here is a digital humanitarian. He revolutionized the use of social media in emergency response in the humanitarian sector in Kenya. He's now an authority not only in Kenya but Africa for championing the use of social media for social good. So you can borrow from that leaf and use social media for social good as opposed to sending that hateful message out there. Martin is the founder of Soma Awards, so another gentleman here who has made the social media really work for him, has actually put it to good use. And Martin, I want to talk about the way forward as regards the hate we're seeing on social media, with only about 20 days to go to the polls and with people itching to tweet something out there that could not be very pleasant. What would you like to say to this social media demographic?
We need to agree that elections are very important because they give us our leaders. But we need to also know that there's life after 8th of August. If you are a student or you are a young person, whatever you tweet or whatever you share on social media will remain there. Your employer after 8th will still see it. Someone will have taken a screenshot. Your customers, if you run a business, will see that. It will remain there. As we always like saying, your digital footprints will always define who you are and can be accessed online. So know that after the elections, you will go out there to look for a job. Your employer will want to meet you. Will you want to face your employer again, having shared hate message? Will you want to face your customers after sharing a hate message? So let us agree that elections will come. Elections will come and go. Elections are important, but our lives, and especially our lives online and offline, are very important, and whatever we share will define that. Our employers will, in fact today, young people need to know that before you're employed, your online profile is part of your CV. Whatever you share is accessed by your employer. And we know so many people who, had an opportunity to get a job, but because of their negative content online, they miss that opportunity. So your content online will define the kind of business you do and the kind of job, the type of job that you get there. So let us protect that and let us share positive message and stay responsible online.
And Martin is sharing his perspective as a possible employer. He's the CEO of Eyeballs Marketing, could be your boss in the near future, so be careful what you put out there. Brian, you're a digital strategist. We've talked about a lot of young people being idle, and a lot of people are really active on Instagram. I see, really lovely photos out there. A lot of people are active on Snapchat, on Twitter as well. Guys are constantly on their phones. How to translate this energy into something that will actually work for them like it did for you?
What you share online easily can attract the next employer. You can easily work for them. And I have a pal online who started a hashtag #IkoKaziKE. So with that, guys usually share if you have a job opportunity or stuff like that and you feel as yourself you can't even apply for it, just use the hashtag and someone else on the timeline can easily apply for that. So we need to use our social media numbers to build the country, because there's so much jobs out there you can get. You can even do via social media. You can be hyping parties for guys. You can even be training guys on different skills that you have. So I feel that we need to use our numbers to help guys out there.
And Brian has done that. He's a digital strategist, social media executive at Scanad. He runs major brands in Kenya, handles their social media, posts content, moderates for them, and creates strategies for them. Gentlemen, I thank you very much for your time. We've been talking to Brian Bunda. He's a digital strategist. Martin Muli, founder Soma Awards, and not my relative, by the way. And Philip Ogola, who's a digital humanitarian. Thank you so much for watching Citizen.